Okay, sorry, everybody. I am not obviously very tech savvy, so,
Join the club, yeah.
so I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Claire, town clerk. This is Rusty, chairman. Dave, member, and I think you're up there somewhere. I thought I saw your name. Yep. And Hannah from DMR. And so now I'll turn it over to you to run the meeting.
All right, so Brian isn't there?
Well,
Or
it
his name
says
is it,
his
yeah.
name's there and he's got a hand wave.
All right, so we're late.
I'm here.
Good.
Nice, cool. We were hoping that Earl would show up, so I guess we'll call the order a little bit late here. And.
Thank you.
Yes,
Sorry, we have
construction
construction.
in a perfect spot. So what do we have to do? Approval of minutes or no? Is that what we have to?
Yes, yes, we just follow along. We have, yeah, approval of a minute.
So we have to do a motion to approve or
Yeah,
make a motion to approve the minutes?
okay, second,
Second.
and then vote.
Yeah.
So,
Aye.
okay, there we go, 3-0, okay. And now we have no warden update. They were not able, nobody was able to attend, but they also confirmed that there has been no warden activity since our last meeting.
No news is good news, though.
Right,
That is a state update.
that would be Hannah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
hey
Michelle.
guys.
Put you on the spot, I guess.
Oh, no, that's okay. And I just came from Shellfish Warden training, so I really don't have much prepared. So I give you guys, I'm Hannah Annis. I'm your area biologist now. I've been doing this since 2004. And actually when I started, I had your town. And then about 10 years ago, they hired a new person and reorganized areas and they gave it to Heidi. And now they've reorganized again and they've given it back to me. So now I have all of MDI again, like I did before. There's been a lot of changes that really aren't going to directly impact you guys, but they've renamed our program from the Municipal Shellfish Management Program to the Nearshore Marine Resources Program. And my previous supervisor, Dennis Nault, who I worked for about 20 years, has left the department. And we have a completely new supervisor. Her name is Meredith White, and she's out of the Booth Bay Harbor office. So none of this stuff really impacts you guys, but it's just a quick heads up. Nothing's going to change as far as what we do with you guys. There aren't a whole lot of municipal shellfish management changes. I wanted to check with you guys to see if you might have any water quality interest or looking for updates. Our Landon's data just came out, so we have a statewide report for that very soon. And then I don't know if you guys had a chance to read the annual review letter, but the state, because of some of the age of some of the documents, I guess DMR is having a hard time locating town management plans. And they're asking towns if they'd be willing to look for theirs or write a new one. It's not something you necessarily have to do, but something that they're asking you to consider. I'm trying to
Management review.
Well, no, before every town starts an ordinance, before the department approves an initial first ordinance, you have to get a management plan submitted and reviewed. And then the annual review is kind of like an annual assessment of your program and your plan and what you're doing.
Have we submitted that?
Well, this started well before I started, so I would have to go back through records and see if we have.
It would have happened when you very first put in when it was probably, I don't know how old your program is, but it would have been submitted back when your program very first started. And there's a good chance it's not electronic. It's probably hard copy only. And I think that's part of the problem we're having is we're on an archive schedule and people have been throwing, people throw
Right.
stuff after so long. So it's not something they're asking us to talk to you guys and work with you about and work with you on and see how receptive you are to it. And if you're busy now, that's fine. We can talk about it later. The one thing I did, and I can't remember when your licenses go on sale either, but we have your annual review. I don't think the allocation has come in, but that could be fine. I think your license sales happen later in the year anyways.
Yeah, July is when we start, and it's actually, I believe, on our agenda to approve the allocation for the upcoming year.
Okay, great. That takes care of that.
So you
And
have received the 2022 annual review.
I think so. Let me double check, David. I checked. Yeah,
So
we
you
got
don't
that
have
back
it?
the beginning of March.
You did, Rusty.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're all set.
Yeah, and if you got, and if you guys have any questions for me tonight or interested in anything, and hopefully next time I can be there. I just couldn't get down there in time tonight.
Okay, well, I just found a folder for ordinances, and it looks like we enacted this in 2000, so 23 years ago.
Yeah.
So I would, oh, what's this? Oh, no, that's somebody else's ordinance. I thought maybe it was the plan. So I'll have to look and see if we have that plan you're talking about somewhere. But like it was 23 years ago we did this, so.
Yeah, totally understand, Claire. Thank you.
Totally under the table.
Yeah, that was at least 2 clerks ago, maybe 3.
Right.
Yeah, I'm finding that most towns, it's the same situation. The ordinances are decades old and that's just not paperwork people have kept around.
That's not gonna threaten the program, is it?
Well, I mean, my point of view, I don't know what the state could do because you obviously submitted one at one time to get your initial ordinance. So I'm kind of in a hard position, but I don't see any recourse in the letter where they're requiring it. So it's one of them deals where it's up, if you guys are receptive and you want to work on it, fine. But the way I look at it, if you don't want to deal with it right now, I think that's probably you're right. But the department's letter is a little bit on the heavy-handed side.
Do you have some sort of form or template that we would use to complete in order to do this?
Yeah, I think that they're getting ready any day to issue a template. Like I said, they'd like to see towns do this by the end of the year, but they're not going, I think they realize it's not going to happen in a lot of towns. But yeah, so right now they're working on, my new supervisor's working on a letter and a template that will provide more information. And I'm more than happy to help you guys along the way with this too, if it's something you want to work on.
As soon as you can get it, we'll try to work on it, so.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
meantime, I'll try to locate, see if somebody somewhere saved it, but you're right. Going back through, I'm digitalizing other records. And I am finding that, 23 years ago, things pretty sparse. If I can find them, I scan them, but
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Hannah,
Yes.
I was just wondering, have you seen more changes within your department with the restructuring?
Well, I mean, when I first started in this job, it was quite a while ago, it was 2004. We just did municipal shellfish management. And over time, we've also taken on a lot of other marine species like seaweed, marine worms, mussels, ocean quahogs, periwinkles, whelks. And so we've kind of been really wiped out in what we can do, and it's been taken away from what we can do with town management. So they have hired 2 more people, but they've put them in the Booth Bay Harbor office, and they're going to try to put a lot of those extra species with them. So hopefully over time, that will allow me to spend more time like I want to back with the towns and town shellfish programs. But right now it's pretty much a head spinning situation.
A lot of shorthandedness going on.
Yeah, I mean, they're adding people, but there's just so much there's just so much going on. It's hard. And actually I work in the public health division, which also does water quality, biotoxin, shellfish inspectors. And we just also took on the aquaculture program. So there's lots going on. How it all shakes out, I don't know. I'm hoping as time goes on, things will get a little bit more settled out and we'll kind of get back to getting our feet back under us and, have a little bit more control over that.
Do you foresee this as a positive change?
I think so. I mean, I can't, I mean, if I can, I mean, I was covering a bunch of other species that were taking up a huge amount of my time away from what you guys are doing. And if I could get rid of some of that stuff, it would allow me personally to get more time back with town programs. For me personally, if I can get rid of some of my extra stuff, I would be happy, but I also took on a bunch more towns. So it's going to take me a while to figure all that out too, and where I fit in with that. But I mean, I have 28 towns that I work with right now. I have the largest, most active area probably in the state, or one of them. So I'm trying to figure everything out, but I'm hoping as time goes on, Brian, it'll get better. But it's not terrible. It's just everybody is spread too thin.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking this on with us and look forward to working with you.
Yeah. Thanks. Same here.
What's that little cove over by the fleet?
Gilpatrick.
Yeah, what? Any update on Gilpatrick Cove?
Yeah, we'd have to get to water quality to get anything like that, David. If you guys would like to get a person down there or an update, I can certainly talk to the Lemoyne lab and let them know you guys are interested.
Just as long as I've been around here, that's been a sticking point that we've never been able to open.
Right, yeah, I know. Let me, I mean, if you guys want some information, we can either talk to water qualities if they want to provide something in email, or if you guys want to have them come to a meeting, we can invite them and they'll come down, whatever, it's your guys' pleasure.
I think
Yeah,
that
it's
would be a good idea there, David, don't you think?
Yeah, I do, because it's too bad that we heavily looked at that years ago, and they tried to put dye up through it to see where the problem was coming from. They really put everybody's put time into that code. We still can't find the problem. So obviously we can't open it. Just hate seeing a cove like that sit there with inactivity. There's been a few openings around in different places, and it'd be nice to see that open someday.
Yeah.
But it's nice, it would be nice to get some answers.
Yeah, so just so I'm clear, would you guys like to invite water quality to an upcoming meeting, or do you just want some sort of, document or some sort of information electronically?
Just at this point, information, one of us, Claire or Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you send it to me, I can send it out to the committee members. And then I guess you guys could review it and then decide where you want to go from there.
Yeah.
Are you guys interested townwide or just Gilpatrick
That's just the one that sticks. There's plenty of closures in Mount Reserve, but that's the one that's always been contentious to me personally, because it's right there for the public or us to harvest in. It would be a nice place for winter harvesting. And
Yeah, okay.
I
What
think
I'll do,
when
oh, sorry.
oh, no, what I was going to say is I think from what I can remember, David, when I first started hopping on with the meetings and stuff like that, I think it was a talking point that Victor had brought up. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we have, I can't remember his name, Savage from the water treatment plant? Did he come down and talk to us
Yeah.
about?
oh, he did, yeah. And
Yes, he did. I have a whole folder here on Gilpatrick Cove.
yeah, I know it.
So, right,
But I think if I remember the meeting correctly, I think it'd be nice to maybe continue the progress with it and some more talks, because I think we had the whole meeting, we talked round and round about it, and then he stood up at the end and just said, well, here's the map and here are a bunch of outfalls from old grandfathered outfalls from, private estates along Sergeant Drive that are probably our issue. And unless people want to get new septic systems, they're grandfathered in and that's the way it's going to be. And then he kind of dropped the paperwork and left.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was Terry Savage.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I personally think you're right, Dave. It'd be worth talking about and open up discussion again, because I know there are a lot of older homes with archaic systems in place that probably could use to be updated, even though that they're grandfathered in, that could affect certain areas like Gilpatrick Cove and up along the shoreline.
I have a question. If that's the case, that they have old, like, what'd you call it, sewer, septic systems.
there used to be federal money available, but I think that grant ran out years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Is that something DMR, or I guess, what are you calling it? You're calling it, the nearshore resources, whatever, the state, is that something that they could address with the owners, that, hey, you're polluting the waters, you need to do something with your septic system?
Yeah, I mean, I think what happens, and again, these are all great questions, and I wish I could answer more. I don't work a lot in water quality, but we can certainly, if you guys want them to come down, those would be good questions for them. But from what I understand, DMR, so the water quality folks will come out and do a survey and they identify problems or potential problems. And then they work with usually the town LPI or CEO, but it's DEP that has the authority, the enforcement authority. And they're also the ones, when there is money available, like David was talking about, they're the ones that would have the small community grant, it used to be called. They're the ones that would help or administer or have some sort of information with that. And I don't know, David, what the current status of that is. I've heard there's been some money available occasionally, but I don't
Right.
know what the current status of that is. But it sounds like we at least should get town-wide water quality info with a focus on Gilpatrick. But if you guys have other questions about the septic, that would be the time you really want to invite water
Okay.
quality staff to come. Yeah.
Claire, do you know who's Terry Savage isn't there anymore? He retired. Is that correct?
No, he retired, so now it's Ed Montague. Who's
Okay.
the superintendent over there.
Yeah, that'd be great to try to get some info from Ed, and then maybe, unless we have it in our records, do we still have in our records a map that he provided with the locations of the outfalls?
Oh, yeah, you must.
Well, I've got a file here.
They were pretty thorough too. I was impressed. They went to quite an effort to try to find
Anyone, this is
all those antiquated houses. and
in
antiquated
2016, Heidi and Hannah did a walkthrough survey. And just looking here, looks like a little map area, but wouldn't mean anything to me, but you guys are welcome to go through this file folder and see if there's anything that,
Any quick dates pop up and where when those maps were and just
Well,
lots of if you just dropped off the table and that was
it's
forgotten.
2015 and 16 here.
Okay, yeah, so let's,
So I don't think anything's been done since 2016, probably.
so it's been a while. It's,
Well, Heidi, I have an email here that Heidi had, her report of the walkover survey, and that was in 2018.
well, really?
So that's the latest.
You remember doing that? That was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think that was the day we all went out there on the flats maybe, or I know Heidi and I did this was all just looking at shellfish resources and not water quality stuff. And then I know there was one day we met you, David, and I think Victor and a couple other guys down there and looked around at the resources too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what that was about. Yeah,
It was just kind of a resource assessment.
yeah, and that was several years ago.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
So we have, I don't know, just my limited perspective, we have a limited amount of flats, and if we have the ability to preserve or enhance, especially one, something like that, that's more accessible than, some of the other more steep, treacherous places, that would probably be worth looking into, like David and everyone's talking about.
Okay, what I'll do then, we'll start, if it sounds good to you guys, let me know if you want something different. So what I wrote down to start to do is I'll reach out. Hannah Horeka, another Hannah, is your water quality specialist, I believe, or scientist in Lemoyne. So what I'll do is I'll reach out to her and let her know I've met with you guys, and there was a lot of discussion on water quality, and you have some interest on an update townwide with a focus on Gilpatrick. And then if you guys want to have them come down or have them sign in to talk more about the septic stuff, we can do that later, or do you want to do that at the same? I'm not sure how you guys want to play that, but if that sounds good to you, I'll start by getting a water quality update. And then we can go from there, or do you want to have them come right down to you?
I have a meeting in May or?
Yeah, I was thinking a meeting like, May or June, June getting a little bit late, but yeah, we were kind of tossing the idea, Brian had mentioned too, before it got into the thick of summer, another meeting, so I don't want to, like, you know, cramp anybody's style, but however you guys would be best for you, if we did something mid-May to early June for a meeting for us is what I was thinking.
Do you guys have a regularly scheduled night, or do you kind of just, do you schedule them as you need them?
It's usually on a Thursday at 5 PM, and it's according to what's available. Because we have some committees that have standing meetings.
Yeah.
So if I look in here for May.
So if Claire gave you a week to 10 days notice, you'd probably get somebody from water quality to come on Zoom and give us a little update.
I'm sure I can at least get the water quality update. I don't know if they'll be available, but if you guys can narrow it down like Claire's, like Claire's doing, if we get it down to a Thursday at 5 and kind of like a timeline, I'm happy to say, hey, Hannah, can you guys come down to this or Zoom in or something?
It looks to me, just now looking at May, that May 25th is open.
Okay,
And I think May 4th is open, but I would really prefer not to do that week because our town meeting is on the 1st and 2nd, and I'm gonna be fried. So,
Right that.
so I would prefer not to do it. However, if that's what you guys have to do, then that's what I have to do.
No.
So,
So we're agreed on the
yeah, the 5th is a Friday.
fifth?
Yeah.
No, so the 25th sounds like a good tentative date to,
Okay,
try for.
I will put that on the calendar. Meeting on 5/25 at 5 PM.
that sounds good. And what I'll do is I'll pass that on to Hannah immediately tonight, or probably tomorrow. And hopefully we can get her to come or join. If not, we can at least, I'm sure by then we can at least get the update through an email or some sort of document if she can't come. I'll let you guys know. Claire, I've been emailing you, right? So I have your email. Yeah, I'll let you know what she says. If
Okay,
that works. Okay.
Possibly get the Montague guy to come to the
Ed,
meeting. Yeah. That would
water
be a plus.
quality and Montague. Yeah, see if it's available. Good grief, big squirrels we have.
Like grizzlies. Oh.
So I was looking on the calendar, so I didn't write a note. So with what you're doing, Hannah, are we going to have water quality attend or just give us information for the next meeting?
Well, my goal is to get them, so my goal is to try to see if, I'm gonna ask them to attend and hopefully they're available. If they're not available, I'm sure that they won't have any problem getting us an update, so you guys can at least look at that. But my goal is hopefully she'll be available and we can get her to attend or
Okay.
Zoom in or something. Yeah, I'll let you, hopefully I'll hear back from her. I'm gonna send her an email tomorrow and invite her and see if she can make it. I I wrote down May 25th at 5 o'clock.
Yep,
Okay, perfect.
so just so you guys know, I'll need agenda items. Early enough to make a mailing out, so hopefully you can get me whatever you want on the agenda by the 11th. So that I can do, because like Dave, you won't get an email, so.
Yep, so it's obvious that that would be the first agenda item by itself,
Yeah,
is Kilpatrick Cove issue.
yeah, under the state update, we can put that right up there, unless you want it under new business.
I guess technically it is new business.
All right, so beyond old business, not to like jump the train ahead, I was just.
No,
No.
yes, we're on old business.
In old business. I can't remember, I'm looking at it real quick, but I'm just reading an email from Chris Peterson I got, and I'm regarding some of the microbial samples, I don't know if that was in old business. But I just wanted to kind of mention that real quick.
Okay,
So there's a couple things to this real quick. I'm not gonna spend much time with it, but the results are back on the water samples that were done, I believe, over at Pirates Cove and places on Pretty Marsh. Mammals are the problem, but not human, deer, or cow, dog being part of the problem, but proportion of dog versus wild mammals unknown. Bird contamination really level low, generally specific testing for geese. Similar results for both sites. I believe Northwest Cove was one of the sites in Mount Desert, Bar Harbor shared, and then probably down at Pretty Marsh. Then there's more information there. And then kind of to jump rails, like we had talked about potential to put clam recruitment boxes at locations, Chris and I, where Chris Peterson and the Bar Harbor committee had done that. Well, he's indicating here that the park had just wants him to amend the Army Corps engineer permit for Otter Creek to add any site that wasn't in the initial permit. And we don't have a problem with the park, but to be legit, we'll have to figure out exactly what spots in Mount Desert that we do want to, if we want to continue with that, and indicate that in the permit. So we can do that work without any issue, and that we need to do that within about the next month from now. That was the email that I received like this week, and I hadn't actually digested or read it from Chris. So that's something that I'll connect with him with.
Yeah, he gave a report on last Bar Harbor.
Yeah.
meeting, both places, of course.
So that's something that I'll reach out to Chris about.
now, is that something that if you make a motion and that we agree that you can do
Yeah,
whatever
is that-
needs
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
be
is that
done,
something we should do?
that we
Yeah.
won't have to meet again to do that? Or is that something we need to have another meeting to do?
I'm not sure, you tell me, you guys tell me. I'm just digesting and reading this, kind of spitting it out in real time, and like where he says that it's within the next month that we need to put that in the permit application.
Well, who's doing the permit application?
It must be Chris, because he's saying that not the park, but the park is forcing me to amend my Army Corps permit for Otter Creek to add any site that wasn't in the initial permit. And part of the goal of Otter Creek was that it's shared with Mount Desert and Bar Harbor.
Yeah.
So and it's accessible, and so we wanted to get some data, have some recruitment boxes of our own. Even though there might be a variety of sites, we thought that would be a good one to work at. And though there's more layers to the cake as we see, but it's simple, it's just a matter of checking the boxes and including it in the permit.
Well, I would think that if you guys wanted to move and second and vote to appoint someone as the point person to work with Chris to do whatever needs to be done, that you could do that.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you, David? So do I need to do that? Or does David need to do it, or Brian?
Anyone can make the motion.
All right, so I would make a motion to be the point person to communicate with Chris Peterson on getting the site included in the permit in Otter Cove for a clam recruitment box. As they've been doing in the past in Bar Harbor. Which we haven't been doing in Mount Desert. So since Chris has experience doing it, it's relatively simple. I think it's a good opportunity for us to get some data and do something with them. And this is a long motion, huh? So I'm making a motion to be the point person to work with Chris to include this in his permit application, which needs to be done within the next month.
I second it.
Okay.
So what do I say, all in favor?
Yeah. All right, and I guess any discussion first.
Okay, yeah, any discussion on that?
I think it's, you said it, I think you said it easily. It's pretty straightforward. Chris is already doing it. He's resubmitting the permit to Army Corps. We're kind of doing a collaborative with him. He asked us if we wanted to, share our side of the fence to try to put some boxes in to get some information. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, good. I mean, it may or may not yield any useful data, but it seems like any data is better than no data. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the cove historically has been one of the most productive coves on the island, but not anymore.
And are you referring to up inside the?
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
Yeah, so,
up inside the cove itself, Otter Cove it hasn't produced plans in 20 years.
Hmm.
It's something, as I told our committee, Barbara, that wasn't a going concern from my commercial shellfisherman aspect.
but there's potential for some other sites as well. So I'm just trying to kind of get our toes in the door, and kind of not to jump on Chris's coattails, but I just think, just see how the process goes. So if we want to vote on me being the point person to communicate with Chris, I'd be happy to do that.
Oh, well,
Is that two, Brian?
Yes, second.
Okay, so three approved.
we approved.
Okay,
All right, I didn't mean to sidetrack us there, but I just kind of saw that in that email and thought that was, especially being time sensitive with him saying a month.
would you mind forwarding that email so I can include it for the minutes?
Yep.
Just to
Yep.
have it on our record?
Okay, and I know there was more with old business, but really I haven't had much correspondence with any of the other people and kind of not really done my homework, to be honest, on some of that stuff. So not that it's gone, but there hasn't been much change. Do you have anything to add to that?
No,
Okay, so now we'd be on to new business, I guess. And with new business, we have a member of the committee that hasn't been present for a while, and we reached out, which is unfortunate because he has been a harvester in the past, and I think he would be a valuable member if we could get him to attend, but so we're looking at removal of Benjamin Hamer as a member of the Shellfish Committee for Shellfish Ordinance 3G, meaning make every effort to regularly attend committee meetings. Any committee member who misses more than 2 consecutive unexcused absent, they'll lose their seat on the committee. So we don't have a big line of people waiting to attend, but that's the goal. That's on the agenda for today. So
Has anyone talked to Benny?
Yeah, I haven't really seen him around even locally at all.
So when's the last time, Claire, who attended a meeting?
I want to say before COVID, because we didn't have any meetings during COVID, and so it was probably 2018 or 19.
And has any letter been?
I've sent letters, every year I send letters out to see if people want to stay on a committee or as their seat opens up. I believe you tried to reach out to him.
Right, he hasn't called
Yeah.
you or said, I don't want to be on the committee or
No.
do.
And I think I had an email for him and I sent numerous emails as well. So other than driving over to his house and banging on a door.
Yes, as Rusty said, it's hard to lose a physical body when you've only got 4 or 5. So.
Do you think we ought to try to make another attempt to rein him in, David, or do you think we should just?
Yeah, I've been debating this all day. I mean, it's an issue where he what's the license? He had a license in the last
No.
few years, so he
Yeah.
obviously has given that. up.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem is that just our participation, our resource is just so
Right.
thin that our participation level on a harvesting level and the committee stuff, so we're just. It's not trying to exclude or get rid of anyone, but it's, as you can see, I mean, we only have allocated so much time personally ourselves, and we have another member that we would like to have here, but we've reached out a lot and don't have him here, so. I guess I don't have to explain to anybody.
Right,
It's just
Right,
where we
it's
are.
just resources on my time trying to chase people down that,
Yeah,
So what do you think
Well,
about
I
that?
think, I think if, I mean, like, same thing, Rusty, like you said, nothing against him, but I think he knows where to find us or how to get to the meeting if he needs to or wants to, and he hasn't been getting the license, so maybe interest is dropped. And I mean, if he's not on the committee, there's nothing that says that tomorrow you see him and he says, hey, I want to be a part of the committee again, and then he can
Right.
join again, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, if he was licensed like in this last season showing that there was interest, then I would not
Right. me
be
too.
so quick. I would want to like personally go find him and explain the situation. But since I don't see that, we're just in that circle there. So yeah, I guess. And not like we're looking to replace him, but maybe we will have the opportunity to, have someone else that can bring something to the table, join the committee.
We gotta be real careful here because if you wanna get technical, Earl hasn't been here for 2 years.
well, this is the second meeting here.
Right. So we didn't know that he wasn't gonna show up, so.
Right,
And he obviously knew about both meetings.
well, I sent
All right,
mail out, so
So that first one wasn't considered excused.
he just forgot,
Right.
so and he didn't call me today or drop by or anything, so I guess,
Yeah, no, like I'm not at all, I don't think anybody here is trying to swing the sword and like trim the
yeah,
table, but we're just trying to, like Claire said, for time and efficiency and participation wise, just trying to figure something out. Maybe if our committee does dwindle down here, David or I or Brian or somebody will maybe reach out and try to,
yeah.
find some people that want to work towards what we're doing.
I'm sure Earl would have been here, I just probably somebody.
Yeah, I'm thinking he definitely didn't purposely choose to go up again. I'm thinking it, maybe I should get his personal, not to, sidetrack, but maybe I should get his personal phone number and just give him a call to remind him, because I have a feeling he would have been here.
Yeah, police check on him, I mean, might be something wrong.
Right.
Yeah, he
right.
could be in the, who knows, he could be.
He's been here as long as I've been part of this, so I
And I would-
consider him very valuable.
Yeah, and I would say also in fairness, Ben hasn't attended any meetings in over 5 years.
That's what I was gonna say. So we're like not picking on people, but like this is kind of a newer development with Earl. This would be the second one today. And we know that he was simply a mistake, and he most likely would have attended or intended to attend. And with Benjamin, we've had a more long difficulty to find participation. So I think there's a distinction there.
So
No.
I guess I'll make the motion for taking Benny off.
Yeah, I will second that. Oh, and yeah, so we'll vote on that, I guess.
Yep, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in favor.
Yeah,
Okay,
Now, who else has bought licenses, I guess, in the town? I mean, I think it'd be worth it to see if anybody else who's bought the licenses in the town that want to be a part of the committee or anything like that.
well, this year for commercial, it's just you and Dave. David, that has commercial licenses. I do have some residential licenses that are
Recreational.
recreational, yeah.
How many of those did we sell?
Well, I think I just sold a number 10.
Yeah, some of those people might be
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's a good,
definitely good
yeah, I have,
candidates to reach out to.
you can look at that and see if there's anybody on that list that you think would be a good person to reach out to, or I can make a copy of that,
Yeah,
and you
maybe if
can
you-
contact them.
Yeah, maybe if you can make a copy of that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Could you- Could you email it?
Yeah, I can scan it and email it.
Because even if we don't have a big commercial harvest, I would at the very least like to see if we can at least have rec harvest for locals. And that list shows that there is interest.
Yeah, well, that's all the licenses.
Well, you're gonna work pretty hard to get dinner in some of these places. You probably know where.
Yeah, as I get shot at going over somebody's property line.
What else? Do we have anything else on new business?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is a bunch of stuff on there, so should we go to the annual 2022 annual review to DMR, which we kind of batted around, what's that, Claire? Is that what you and I went over?
yeah, that's what you and I went over, and I think I mailed a copy out to everybody or attached it to an email for a couple of you. Gosh, I guess I didn't bring it with me. But yeah, I sent it out, and I don't think there was much change from the year before.
Yeah, we kind of just confirmed what was what on that, and I think it has been submitted,
It was, yeah. I didn't want to miss the deadline, so.
right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks, I mean, I can't look at it for content, but it looks like it looks like it's complete. It's all, it looks like every place that's been filled in, that needs to be filled in has, and you guys got the budget sheet here too, it looks like.
Yep. And I think the wardens did their warden section and sent the whole thing over.
Cool, so then we can go on to maybe part C, the allocation plan approval for 2023.
Yeah,
When we say allocation, we mean license allocation.
but yes, how many licenses in each category you want to sell?
So, any idea, any thoughts on that, David? I don't think we really need to change anything. There's nothing big outstanding, so could we make a motion to approve the allocation plan 2023?
To keep it the
Keep it
same.
the same, yeah,
Okay.
approve it as is, yeah.
Very simple. I second that.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Who signed in?
Yeah, I
We got a couple of people that signed in. I need to know who's attending.
just says Samsung and some numbers. If a couple people that have signed in as well in the past 15 minutes could. I don't know if they could unmute their mic and identify who they are. One could be Richard Taylor. I did send him the link. But I'm not sure who the other might be.
Okay, Richard
Richard
and Tiffany.
Yeah, Tiffany.
you.
Yeah, Tiffany Tate.
Richard Taylor and Tiffany Tate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any idea who the other one is?
I think they're each individual cell phone.
You sure?
I'm not sure. That did pop up.
That's-
Yes, they have two different cell phones.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's the only person I provided that to besides the mailing. I just provided that.
Okay, yeah, this is a public meeting, so anybody can jump in.
Yeah.
Dave, you want to sign that you attended up there?
So, we voted on the allocation plan approval. That's good.
Well, you didn't vote, you made a
Motion.
motion, but we need to vote.
Okay, I'm gonna say aye on
Very
that.
good.
Yeah,
Aye.
well,
Okay,
there's that.
well, if we did, I didn't write it down. Okay,
And then, just quickly, there was in the discussion of conservation efforts, potentially a coastal cleanup thing. Haven't looked into it too much. I did real quick, and maybe you would know, Hannah, does DMR still sponsor in like the September thing? Does Maine DMR still do the nationwide coastal cleanup thing where they allocate sites that can be chosen? Is that something you're aware of at all?
Yeah, I'd have to look into that. That might be part of the coastal zone program that's under DMR. it's not anything that's tied to us. So I'd have to check on that.
So
If-
my thought on that was just like, instead of us trying to reinvent the wheel, if there was already like, that sounded like a plan, if something that happens every year. I mean, it looked like it was mostly southern Maine, but I did see a Lubec one. And I just thought that might be a way to get some participation for the committee members and whoever else wanted to. If that's something that popped up, I thought maybe we could investigate, especially if Maine DMR was hosting and allocating sites to do it. If there was a site close to us at all, I thought that was something we might look into in the future.
Yeah, I can look into that. Isn't there like an annual cleanup day in Maine or statewide? I mean, or
Yeah, there's a
across the
bunch of
board?
stuff. Usually Earth Day is like the big one in April, but then what I saw was that there's like when I did just a real cursory search, I saw like that Maine DMR would host one with sites already named in September. So I thought if that's the case, why not?
Yeah, I'll look into that, Rusty. And if I just take a quick second, the allocation applications, are you guys aware it's an online fillable form? Have you guys been through that? Do you know where it is?
Oh, no.
Okay, Claire, I will email you a link and it's really simple. It's actually pretty decent because once you put in your information for contact, if it's same as last year, you just click a button and you submit it. If
Great.
it's same, yeah. So let me write a note. I'm going to email you the link to that application.
Awesome. That will make life easier.
Okay, good.
Yeah, or I guess what I probably usually do is just bring up the prior one and just change the date.
Yeah, they're trying to get away from the paper application. It doesn't really matter to me either way if you guys are comfortable with that, but the online one's pretty easy because you just put in your information, the town office, and same as last year, just hit submit.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. I'll send that to you.
Yeah, that sort of technology I can do.
Nice.
Apparently getting onto Zoom is a little more difficult.
Well, someone had shut down the computer, so we had to do a complete reboot. And luckily we had help.
Yes, yeah.
So I guess that puts us to such other business and maybe legally conducted. David, do you have anything? Forefront?
No, Joe Packard Cove was my only issue, so.
Yeah, that's good. You brought that up. Does a clam still exist out there? Have you been personally? Have you been?
Not for quite a while.
Yeah,
Not for quite a while. I will make a note that, yeah, do you do Blue Hill, Hannah?
Yeah, I have I have the Frenchman Bay 7-town program all the way to South Bristol,
Okay, the quick
everything in
question,
between.
quick question,
Go ahead.
since we border each other, the Blue Hill, as I was told when I went over and got my license, they still have the ordinance, but they have no ordinance, so that's been wide open for quite a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I just found out about it recently. Apparently their warden, Kevin Piper, resigned last June.
Right.
They just hired Steve Bouchard. He's the Penobscot Shellfish warden as well. They just hired him just last week or this week. So they've
Yeah,
got
right.
a warden again.
That's what they told me when I got my license over there, that they were in the process of contracting with another warden, so they now have enforcement.
Yeah, as far as I know, Steve's been hired and he's gonna be their warden.
Okay, because obviously we have issues with people zipping across the Blue Hill area over the Partless Island, so
Yeah,
just wanted everybody to be aware of that, that's been an issue, and thank God it's now under control, hopefully, so for me.
yeah, and if you guys want, I mean, I can ask Steve if you guys want to try to get his contact info to talk to him about that. Maybe he can help or work with you guys on something like that.
Yeah, I'll talk to him at some point.
Oh, so you know him. Okay, awesome. Thanks, David.
yeah, thank you, David. So I don't know, I think we're walking down here. So if Ryan has anything else or Claire, but
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. So unless you guys got anything else?
Nope, just to confirm, next meeting, 5/25 at 5 PM.
Yeah,
Okay,
Good, thanks for popping in. Hannah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, no pleasure. I mean, no problem. My pleasure. Thank you.
thank you.
No pleasure, all problems, I get it.
no pleasure, my problem.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
Okay, vote.
I,
Good night.
Aye.
Okay, good night. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Hey,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Claire, as always.
My problem, your pleasure.
Town clerks are so underappreciated,
yeah, I know, yeah.
really.
So now how do we stop this?
Stuff.